Question 1. Mrs. Klein prides herself on the educational activities she provides for the children in her home child care practice. She has 2 4-year-old children in her care. The others are 2 or 3 years old. Mrs. Klein sets out some building blocks. She lets the children have free play with the blocks for several minutes, then adds a challenge for the 4-year-olds. Which of the following would be the most appropriate challenge for these children? A. Stacking one block on top of another. B. Asking them how many blocks they would need to make a triangle, square, or rectangle. C. Asking them to make a shape with the blocks and tell her about it. D. Asking them to build something and then recreate it on paper.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer, asking them to make a shape with the blocks and tell her about it. At this stage, children are still exploring shapes and number. Mrs. Klein should challenge the children to create shapes and tell her about them. This will help them learn about the attributes of shapes. Mrs. Klein can discuss the concepts of closed shapes, polygons, sides, and angles. 4-year-old children would not be challenged by stacking blocks, and they will most likely not be able to recreate a solid model in 2 dimensions on paper. They may be able to identify various shapes and name them without knowing how many sides are used for each. This would be a teaching moment. Question 2. You have a student in your class who is concerned about the impending birth of his baby sister. His behavior has shown signs of his stress. Which of the below actions on your part will best help him to begin to adjust? A. Tell him it's going to be all right. Babies are cool. B. Give him extra support, be available to him to listen and help him find the words he needs to voice his concerns. C. Read a book about new babies. D. Have him create a picture including his new sibling.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer, give him extra support, be available to him to listen and help him find the words he needs to voice his concerns. Your student is concerned and does not have the life experience to understand how this change will affect him. Be available to give extra hugs and support and talk to him about what he might be feeling. Help him find the words to use to share his feelings and have materials in the classroom, like books, that can help him work through these concerns. Question 3. You go on a field trip to the zoo and take a lot of pictures. What is a literacy activity could you plan around this trip? A. Have the children color mimeographed pictures of a hippo. B. Have the children practice writing the letter Z on lined paper. C. Have the children make a class book about their experience. D. Have the children pretend to be giraffes.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Have the children make a class book about their experience. Children will take great joy in making class books, and a field trip is wonderful material for them. Have them write something they saw, something they did, or how it made them feel. Use real pictures or have them draw them. Once the book is complete, put it in your classroom library for the children to read whenever they want to. Question 4. It is a good idea to do which of the following? A. Regularly update your emergency contact list. B. Check toys to make sure they don't have broken pieces. C. Refill your first aid kit. D. All the above.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. All the above. Safety must always be a priority in a preschool setting. Regularly check to assure your emergency contact list is up to date and that each child has a contact listed. Refill your first aid kit so in case of an emergency you are not searching for the items you need, and always check toys so you can throw away toys with broken pieces that can become jagged or splinter off and be swallowed. Question 5. You have a student in your class whose family speaks only Spanish. He understands a few words of English. Which of the below things can you do in your room to show respect for his language and promote the learning of English? A. Make all labels and signs in both English and Spanish and have books in both English and Spanish in your library. B. Speak slowly, he doesn't understand you. C. Nothing, he needs to learn English. D. Learn to speak Spanish so you can communicate with him.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Make all labels and signs in both English and Spanish and have books in both English and Spanish in your library. While learning a few key phrases in Spanish will certainly help, it is unlikely you will be able to fully communicate in his native tongue right away. Having materials in your classroom that are in both English and Spanish will help him feel comfortable while exposing him to the English language. You will be surprised how fast the preschoolers pick up a second language. Question 6. The philosophy of the program you work for is A. Important for you to know. B. Something your director made up. C. Not your concern, it's for the parents. D. Information you can get from the brochure.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Important for you to know. In order to truly be in compliance with the program you are working with, it is important to know its policies, procedures, and philosophy. Question 7. Madison, a 3-year-old in your classroom, has seemed very tired lately and is actually falling asleep during your circle time. You let her sleep at first thinking it was just a one-time thing, but it's been happening a few times a week. What should you do? A. Let her sleep, clearly her parents are not putting her to bed early enough. B. Wake her up, she's missing important learning time. C. Let her sleep today, it's clear she needs it. Talk to her mother at pickup and tell her what you're seeing. Find out from mom if there have been any recent changes that may be causing this excessive tiredness. D. Let her sleep but tell her mother that she can no longer come to school if she can't stay awake. Clearly she just isn't ready to be in school all day.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Let her sleep today, it's clear she needs it. Talk to her mother at pickup and tell her what you're seeing. Find out from mom if there have been any recent changes that may be causing this excessive tiredness. When a child shows dramatic changes in behavior, it's always best to contact the parents and work directly with them to get to the bottom of the issue. They may not always be happy with what you're telling them, but if you are respectful and gentle in your approach, you will gain their trust and can then work best as a team to help the child. Question 8. It's winter and the children all bring snow boots so they can play outside in the snow. When you come back in, you realize many of the children are having trouble putting their shoes back on, and if they don't get them on soon, you won't have time for the story you wanted to read. What should you do? A. Use this as a teachable moment and have all the kids sit down and practice putting on their shoes. B. Let them keep their boots on, the story is a really good one. C. Put their shoes on for them. You don't have time to read the story if you don't. D. Don't play outside in the snow, it's too complicated with this many students.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Use this as a teachable moment and have all the kids sit down and practice putting on their shoes. There will be times when a situation presents itself that can be just as much a learning experience for your students as one you may have planned for. In this case, let all the kids practice putting their shoes on, this is developmentally appropriate and the kids will have fun. Question 9. When assessing the developmental progress of an individual child, the best procedure is A. Use a single sample from a demarcated period of time to make assessments. B. Use multiple sources of evidence to assess abilities. C. Ignore cultural influences and expectations. Hold each child to a set standard. D. Make assumptions and interpretations based on the behaviors of other children.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Use multiple sources of evidence to assess abilities. When assessing an individual child's developmental progress, multiple sources of evidence should be used. These should include written objective observations, information from parents, data collected using formal and informal observation tools, and work samples. Cultural influences and expectations should also be considered. Using this information, the caregiver can construct an individual learning plan for each child. Question 10. Confidentiality guidelines should be communicated to staff and families. Such guidelines should most likely include all but which of the following? A. Support standards for each child's culture, language, ethnicity, and family structure. B. Who will have access to children's assessment records? C. Laws and regulations regarding rights to access. D. Procedures set to keep records confidential.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Support standards for each child's culture, language, ethnicity, and family structure. Confidentiality standards for assessment results or personal records should follow legal and ethical considerations. The guidelines should state: 1. Who can access records? 2. Laws and regulations related to access, with special instances clearly noted. 3. Procedures for confidentiality. 4. How information can be used. Question 11. A child care professional should continue to increase her knowledge about child development issues. Development issues can be cognitive, emotional, social, or physical. At which age does a child typically become aware of his/her gender identity? A. Between the ages of 1 and 3 years. B. In the first year of life. C. Between the ages of 3 and 4 years. D. After the age of 5.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. In the first year of life. Typically, children become aware of their gender identity during the first year of life, usually by the ages of 8 to 10 months. Children become aware of the physical differences between boys and girls by the ages of 1 year to 3 years. By age 4, gender identity becomes stable. Question 12. You notice that a little boy in your classroom seems to become very tired by mid-morning and often falls asleep before lunch. This is not typical behavior. You should: A. Allow him to sleep, he can eat lunch later. B. Nothing, he's fine, kids get tired. C. Let his parents know that you're seeing a change in his behavior. D. Wake him up, he should not sleep before lunch.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Let his parents know that you're seeing a change in his behavior. The most important thing you can initially do is talk to his parents or caregivers to see if they can explain why he's been so tired lately. It may be something they are aware of and can share with you what is going on at home. If not, it is important they know so they can help to find out what is causing this change and rectify it so their little boy can feel better. Question 13. Quinn, a 2-year-old, arrives at Jay's home care center in an angry mood. Jay sees that her attitude is going to cause some difficulties when interacting with the other children. What advice would you give Jay in this situation? A. Put Quinn in the corner and hope that she falls asleep. B. Involve Quinn in an activity which she usually enjoys and which will give her the time to work through her feelings. C. Let Quinn join the group and hope for the best. D. Take Quinn aside and tell her to straighten up or she will have to go home early.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Involve Quinn in an activity which she usually enjoys and which will give her the time to work through her feelings. At this age, it is best to distract or engage children in activities which they enjoy. Quinn may not be able to explain her anger. Engaging her in an activity she usually desires will distract her and give her time to work through her feelings. She will then be able to join in activities with the other children. Question 14. You are planning your lessons for the week and the theme for the week is insects. You want to provide a hands-on experience so they can see what it might feel like to be a bug. Which of the following would provide that experience for your children? A. Read a book on creepy crawly bugs. B. Sing a song about spiders. C. Fill the sand table with dirt and plastic bugs. D. Make bugs out of Play-Doh.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Fill the sand table with dirt and plastic bugs. While all the above will allow children to learn about bugs in a variety of ways, having them feel the dirt and move the bugs around in the dirt will give them a wonderful sensory experience. Question 15. Andrew walks into the first day of preschool and kicks his teacher. His teacher tells him that kicking is not allowed, but he laughs and runs off to play with the toys. The teacher informs the director, who calls Andrew's mother and asks her to stop in when she comes to retrieve Andrew at the end of the day. When Andrew's mother arrives and is informed of his actions, she says, "He does that to me at home too. I just tell him to go play." What would be best practice in this situation? A. Ask Andrew's mother to remove him from the school. She obviously has no control of her son and he will never change his behaviors. B. Tell Andrew's mother that this behavior is not normal and that he should be evaluated for emotional support. Give her pamphlets on agencies that serve children with emotional disorders. C. Tell the teachers to watch Andrew carefully to avoid being kicked. Take up the issue again during the school's regularly scheduled conferences. D. Tell Andrew's mother that kicking is not allowed and that Andrew will have to comply with the rules while in school. Tell her the procedures which you will use to end this behavior. Tell her that you will keep her apprised of Andrew's improvements. Suggest a formal conference soon.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Tell Andrew's mother that kicking is not allowed and that Andrew will have to comply with the rules while in school. Tell her the procedures which you will use to end this behavior. Tell her that you will keep her apprised of Andrew's improvements. Suggest a formal conference soon. Andrew should not be allowed to kick. His mother should be informed of all procedures the center will use to end this behavior. She should be kept informed of any changes in his behavior. At an early formal conference, the director might suggest some actions the parent might take to help Andrew change his behaviors at home. If Andrew does not change his behavior, another conference can be called in which further actions are discussed. Question 16. You are speaking to one student and another child interrupts the conversation. You should A. Tell the second child to knock it off and go away. You are busy. B. Tell the first child you are done talking to her and must talk to the second child. C. Gently remind the second child you are speaking and he must wait until you are done. Let him know you will be with him momentarily. D. Put the second child in timeout for being rude.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Gently remind the second child you are speaking and he must wait until you are done. Let him know you will be with him momentarily. It can be easy to forget that children are not trying to be rude or misbehave when they interrupt. Preschoolers just get excited and want to share their feelings with you. They are just learning how to be sensitive to others' feelings. As their teacher, it is important you remember to stay respectful and remind them of the need to wait until you are done talking. You can make up a signal, such as 2 fingers over your lips, that will visually remind students to wait while you finish your conversation. Question 17. Michael often comes to school without a coat, even on very cold days. Your school requires that students be outside for at least 20 minutes every day, unless the weather is too severe. Today you want to take the children outside but, again, Michael has no coat. What should you do? A. He's going to have to stay inside with another class. He can't go out without a coat. B. You will have to stay inside. You can't take a child outside with no coat. C. Call his mother and explain to her the school's policy on playing outdoors. Ask her if she is able to send a coat in with Michael every day until the weather gets much warmer. D. All the above answers are correct.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. All the above answers are correct. If a child in your class is not coming to school with adequate outerwear, you will have to make decisions based on what you have available to you. If there is not a coat that can be borrowed for the child, you may have to leave him inside with another class. In some cases, this would not be an option as all classes are outside at the same time. A teacher may be at ratio or the child will be too upset to be left behind. In that case, you may have to choose not to go outside. You will also want to talk to the parents about the importance of sending their child to school with warm clothing. Building a relationship with your parents will help you navigate these tougher situations. If you get the sense the parents are unable to provide a coat for their child, talk to your director about how you can help this family. Question 18. Some of the children served at the preschool where you work have come down with the flu. While these children are not at school while they are ill, several of the other parents have expressed concern about their children being exposed to children who are contagious. In this situation, which would be the best response? A. Reassure parents that the school is following all required sanitation rules. B. Close the school during the flu outbreak. C. Require all children in the preschool to have proof of having had a flu shot. D. Ask the parents of returning students to send in antiseptic hand-washing lotions when students return.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Reassure parents that the school is following all required sanitation rules. The school can reassure parents that the school is doing all they can to prevent illnesses from spreading. These can be detailed in a bulletin. Parents can also be advised as to how to keep their children safe in all public areas by having them wash their hands frequently, etc. Remind all parents that sick children should be kept at home until they are symptom-free. Children who have been ill should not be stigmatized. Question 19. As a role model for children, you should model appropriate social skills with A. Parents and children. B. Teachers and children. C. Children only. D. Everyone.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Everyone. You are the children's main role model during the hours they are with you. By building and maintaining healthy relationships with those around you, you are teaching the children how to positively engage socially. Question 20. You are reading a book to two students and notice a third student is crying by himself near the blocks across the room. You should A. Call over to him, asking him what's wrong. B. Keep reading, if he needs you he will come and get you. C. Tell him to stop crying, he's just being silly. D. Go over to the child and ask him what has happened.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Go over to the child and ask him what has happened. When a child is upset, respect his feelings by addressing him directly and privately, down at his level. You can tell the children you are reading to that you will be right back and go over to speak with the child in the block area. Question 21. Ezra, a child in your preschool class, threw up after lunch today. He doesn't have a fever and appears to be just fine. What should you do? A. Tell his mother at pickup what happened. She should know he threw up in case he's getting sick. B. It's almost nap time, let him sleep, he will feel better after a nap. C. Call Ezra's mom and let her know what happened. Tell her he seems fine now and decide together what the best course of action is. D. Send him home immediately, he can't get the other kids sick.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Call Ezra's mom and let her know what happened. Tell her he seems fine now and decide together what the best course of action is. Since Ezra seems fine and does not have a fever, it is best to let his mother know what happened and make a determination for the remainder of the day. If he stays, let her know you will call if anything changes. Question 22. Children need opportunities to share their feelings and ideas non-verbally. Which of the following is a way they can do that? A. Reading a book. B. Listening to a book on tape. C. Playing with puppets. D. Sliding on the slide.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Playing with puppets. When children engage in dramatic play, they are also engaging their nonverbal idea-building skills. Even though they may be talking, they are utilizing their creative brain. They can do this with dance, art, and dramatic play. Question 23. Which of the following types of reading materials should you have in your classroom? I. Culturally diverse, travel brochures, and menus 2. Fiction, nonfiction, and poetry 3. Information, non-traditional gender roles, and tactile. 4. Cookbooks, magazines, and picture books. A. 1, 2, and 3. B. 2, 3, and 4. C. 1, 2, 3, and 4. D. I and 4.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Your classroom should have all kinds of reading materials, including maps, atlases, menus, magazines, picture books, and books with predicable text. Your students should be exposed to the written word as much as possible and in as many forms as possible. Question 24. You have a little girl in your class whose parents are divorcing. While her parents seem to be handling everything okay, the paternal grandmother, who picks up regularly, is not. She often wants to chat negatively with you about her former daughter-in-law. She has no problem talking in front of her granddaughter and uses language that is not appropriate for children to hear. What should you do? A. Call the child's mother and tell her all the awful things her former mother-in-law is saying about her. B. Meet with both parents to explain what you have been experiencing. Talk with them about how important it is to support their daughter and to avoid having her hear these kinds of conversations. C. Tell the child's grandmother to stop gossiping, you do not appreciate it. D. Tell the child's father his mother can no longer pick up your student.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Meet with both parents to explain what you have been experiencing. Talk with them about how important it is to support their daughter and to avoid having her hear these kinds of conversations. In order to maintain the trust of both parents, it is important to share the information with both of them and work with them to come to a reasonable solution. Question 25. Which of the following activities is a pre-reading activity? A. Listening to a book on tape. B. Taking lunch orders in the restaurant center. C. Tracing shapes with their fingers in the sand table. D. All the above.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. All the above. The above listed activities are all good methods in building pre-reading skills. Anytime the children are exposed to literacy, such as being read a book or reading a book to someone else, or writing, tracing, or coloring letters, they are getting valuable pre-reading experience. Expose your students to many opportunities to read, write, and explore the written language. Question 26. A child care provider is seeking immediate feedback for her performance. Her best source will be A. Community college courses. B. A professional mentor or supervisor. C. A professional workshop. D. The parents of the children for whom she cares.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. A professional mentor or supervisor. The most immediate source for feedback will be a professional mentor or supervisor. Caregivers can find sources for personal reflection by attending college courses, professional conferences, or by reading professional journals. Most parents will not have the professional knowledge necessary for accurate feedback and will not be present during service. Question 27. The professional caregiver is a lifelong learner who seeks to increase her knowledge about child development in order to help children and parents cope with typical developmental issues. Which of the following is not a developmental issue? A. Neurological damage. B. Social and emotional development. C. Cognitive development. D. Language skills.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Neurological damage. Neurological damage can cause some developmental issues. Emotional and social development issues include separation anxiety, dependency, shyness, and making friends. Cognitive issues relate to thinking and learning. Language skills include phonemic awareness, processing and fluency. Question 28. When planning for circle time, it is important to remember. A. Circle time should be kept short to accommodate for the attention span of your students. B. Students who do not want to participate should be encouraged to do so, but, if not, should be allowed to leave. C. Circle time activities should be planned with student involvement in mind. Keeping the children engaged and active will increase their attention and learning. D. All the above.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. All the above. Circle time should be short enough not to lose the attention of your students while keeping them actively engaged. This will help them to fully enjoy the activities and not lose focus and interest. It is acceptable to have 2 circle times in a day, if time permits. Question 29. A young boy waits too long and has an accident that soils his clothing. You should A. Call his mother to come get him. B. Change him and put his clothes in his backpack. C. Help him to change and then put his clothes in a sealed and labeled plastic bag. D. Help him dry off as best as possible.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Help him to change and then put his clothes in a sealed and labeled plastic bag. To assure you follow proper sanitary procedures, it's important to put soiled clothes in a labeled and sealed plastic bag so that nothing can leak from the bag and the bag goes home with the correct child. Question 30. Displaying photographs of children and their families in your classroom will A. Make them miss their parents and is not a good idea. B. Help you remember their names. C. Allow children to share their families with you and other students, helping them to develop a sense of self-identity. D. Assure them their parents are coming back at the end of the day.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Allow children to share their families with you and other students, helping them to develop a sense of self-identity. When children can share family photos, discuss their families with you and others and display important photos in their classroom, they feel a sense of self-worth in the classroom, i.e., they are important in your class. They also begin to develop a sense of self-identity when they see their families and how they are the same and different from other families. Question 31. The photographer is coming to take school pictures and some of the parents, the ones whose children are going to kindergarten next year, want their children to wear caps and gowns in their individual photos. The director of your school does not allow caps and gowns and the parents are complaining to you. What can you do? A. Agree with them that it is not fair they cannot have their child's picture taken in a cap and gown, it's a dumb rule. B. Allow the parents to bring in their own cap and gown for the pictures. C. Respectfully advise the parents of the school rules. Let them know you understand their concerns, but must comply with the policies and procedures of your director. D. Tell the parents to start a petition to your director. If all the parents sign it, she can't say no.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Respectfully advise the parents of the school rules. Let them know you understand their concerns, but must comply with the policies and procedures of your director. From time to time, your classroom parents will disagree with a policy or procedure of your school. While you may actually agree with the parents, it is best to listen to their concerns while supporting the school rules. You will not be able to make your parents happy 100% of the time, however, if you show them you are a professional at all times, the times you cannot agree with them will go smoother. Seeing that you respect and support the policies will help them do the same. Question 32. When planning for nap time routines, you should A. Not allow children to bring items from home to nap with. B. Be sure the center is completely quiet so the children can sleep. C. Children nap right after lunch as this is when they are most tired. D. Create nap time routines such as reading a book or listening to soft music.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Create nap time routines such as reading a book or listening to soft music. It is important to create a warm, safe environment with reliable routines for nap time. Reading a book or having soft music playing while they are settling and allowing them to have security items from home, blanket, doll, will help them settle down and rest peacefully. Question 33. You are assigned a new classroom and one of the things you notice is that there are several mirrors on the wall. When it comes to mirrors, you should A. Take them down, they are dangerous. B. Hang them out of reach of the children. C. Hang them at eye level so the children can see themselves. D. Have them only in the bathroom area.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Hang them at eye level so the children can see themselves. Children love to look at themselves and mirrors help them develop a sense of self. Kid-safe mirrors should be hung at the child's eye level so they can look at themselves and experiment with making faces, become familiar with their facial features and interact with their friends. Question 34. A professional caregiver must maintain a professional manner both on and off the job. Which of the following is not best practice for a professional caregiver? A. Arrive on time every day. B. Dress appropriately as the job requires. C. Display a professional work ethic. D. Discuss an individual child's behaviors with friends outside of the organization.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Discuss an individual child's behaviors with friends outside of the organization. Maintaining confidentiality is one of the professional obligations of a caregiver. The caregiver should arrive on time, work a full day, maintain a positive attitude and work ethic and dress appropriately for the responsibilities of the position. The organization should provide standards for professional behavior. Question 35. You have a little boy in your class who likes to wear the princess dress in your dress-up center. You should A. Contact his parents to explain how his behavior is not acceptable. B. Tell him dresses are for girls and offer him a fireman coat. C. Encourage him to play, experiment and wear whatever dress-up clothes he likes and chooses. D. Take the dress out of the center so he cannot choose it anymore.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Encourage him to play, experiment and wear whatever dress-up clothes he likes and chooses. Children at this age are developing their sense of self and should be encouraged to try a variety of dress-up clothes, with no defined gender roles. Little boys can wear dresses and little girls can be construction workers. For them, it's fun and a chance to safely experiment in their environment. Question 36. Candidates for CDA certification must complete a CPR course. Which of the following statements is false? A. The course must be from a nationally recognized organization. B. A virtual course is acceptable. C. The course must specifically address pediatric CPR. D. Original documents for the course will be needed for CDA certification.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. A virtual course is acceptable. Online courses and training are not acceptable for CDA certification. The course must be from a nationally recognized organization, such as the American Red Cross or the American Heart Association. Specific training in pediatric CPR is required. On the day of the verification visit, the original certification document must be provided. Copies can be included in a professional portfolio. Question 37. Bobby hasn't been to school in several days. He doesn't usually miss any time and you are concerned. What should you do? A. Nothing, it's best not to bother his family. They may feel like you are interfering. B. Send his mother an email asking why he's been out. C. Give his mother a call and let her know Bobby is missed. Respectfully ask her if Bobby is okay and when she thinks he might return to school. D. Wait until he comes back and then ask his mother if everything is okay.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Give his mother a call and let her know Bobby is missed. Respectfully ask her if Bobby is okay and when she thinks he might return to school. When a student misses several days, unless your school policy says otherwise, it is always a nice gesture to contact the parents to see if the child is well. The child may be sick, or in some case, there may be something else going on and you need to be aware of. Question 38. During mealtime with preschoolers, it's important to A. Make sure they eat everything on their plate. B. Make sure they sit in the same seat every day. C. Involve them in appropriate conversation. D. Make sure lunchtime is less than 20 minutes.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Involve them in appropriate conversation. Mealtime is a wonderful time for a teacher to model appropriate conversation while encouraging interaction amongst her students. Asking students open-ended questions, thus allowing for more than yes or no answers, will help children develop their communication skills. Question 39. You have a 3-year-old class this year. When planning curriculum, you can be sure of the following. A. All of your students can write their names. B. All of your students will love arts and crafts. C. All of your students will love music time. D. None of the above.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. None of the above. The only sure thing about children is that there is no sure thing. Each student is an individual with their own likes and dislikes and levels of abilities in different areas. Plan a well-rounded curriculum with a lot of options during the day for individual growth and expression. Some children will want to try every activity while others will be more reluctant. Planning for their differences will allow you to feel confident each child is getting a positive preschool experience. Question 40. When creating the emergency procedures to post in your classroom, it is important to include A. The names of all the adults in the classroom. B. Pictures, diagrams and words. C. Bilingual instructions. D. The phone number for the local police department.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Pictures, diagrams and words. By using pictures and diagrams in conjunction with words, you can easily let everyone in the classroom know how to respond in an emergency even if they cannot read or do not speak the language. Question 41. Your school has very little parking available and, because of this, implemented a car line where parents loop around the parking lot and a team of teachers assist the child out of the car and into the school. School staff agrees this has improved the morning drop-off process by keeping children safe and allowing parents to quickly and easily exit the parking lot. One mother refuses to wait in the car line and parks in the lot every day going into the school to drop her child off. Other parents have begun to complain about this behavior. What should you do? A. Tell her if she doesn't follow the procedure, the child will get hit by a car. B. Stand by the door so she can't get in and tell her to go get her car and drive around like the other parents. C. Hey, if she can't follow the rules, her child cannot attend the school. D. When the mother comes in the next day, ask her if she has a minute to talk to you. Go to a quiet place where you can talk privately and explain to her why your school has the drop-off procedure in place. Assure her you understand it can be frustrating to wait in line, but that it is for the safety and well-being of the children. Thank her for her cooperation and understanding.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. When the mother comes in the next day, ask her if she has a minute to talk to you. Go to a quiet place where you can talk privately and explain to her why your school has the drop-off procedure in place. Assure her you understand it can be frustrating to wait in line, but that it is for the safety and well-being of the children. Thank her for her cooperation and understanding. Whenever there is a problem with a parent, it is best to speak to them in a non-confrontational manner. First, ask them if they have a minute and provide a place where they can speak freely and not feel put on the spot. Be respectful and keep your tone even, don't raise your voice or use a condescending tone. Explain why you need their compliance in this situation, why this rule is in place. Often, when someone understands why they are being asked to do something, they will agree to cooperate even if they do not fully agree with the policy. Question 42. Patty's parents asked to speak with you after school. They are concerned. Patty is 4 years old and is not yet reading. They tell you her sister, Penny, was reading by the time she went to kindergarten. You listen to their concerns and tell them. A. It's clear Penny is much smarter than Patty. B. Children learn at different paces and reading is not a skill you expect to see in preschool. C. You will teach Patty to read since this is what they want. D. You, too, are concerned that Patty is not yet reading.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Children learn at different paces and reading is not a skill you expect to see in preschool. Parents often have unrealistic expectations for their children, especially when they see older siblings or other children doing things their child is not yet doing. It is important to help them understand what realistic goals are for their child at his or her age. Providing examples of the wonderful developmentally appropriate things their child is doing will help the parents feel supported in their concerns and trust your feedback regarding their child. Question 43. Mrs. Bridges appears upset when she drops off her 2 little ones. When she returns in the afternoon to pick them up, she confides in you, telling you that her husband came home last night and asked her to leave. She doesn't know where she and her little ones will spend the night. Which would be best practice in this situation? A. Ask her to send you her new address when she relocates. B. Tell her that you can't help parents with personal problems because this would violate confidentiality policies. C. Respect Mrs. Bridges' privacy by keeping the information confidential. Offer to help by giving her information about agencies which might help someone in her situation. D. Call over a few more caregivers to confer with her on what she might do.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Respect Mrs. Bridges' privacy by keeping the information confidential. Offer to help by giving her information about agencies which might help someone in her situation. There are usually community resources for families in crisis. Listen carefully and offer to help. Do not offer unsolicited advice. If Mrs. Bridges wants information, provide what you can. Follow your agency's confidentiality policies. Question 44. You are currently midway through a winter-themed unit on snowmen. It snowed last night and the children really want to play outside, but it's just too cold. What can you do to keep with your unit and address their interest in playing in the snow? A. Have them make snowmen out of cotton balls. B. Fill your sand table with snow and let them make snowmen. C. Tell them they can go outside in a few days when it warms up. D. Do a lesson on what you should wear to play in the snow.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Fill your sand table with snow and let them make snowmen. When the children show an interest in the snow, a caring teacher will use this natural interest to help the children have meaningful experiences. Since they cannot play in the snow, you can provide a hands-on concrete experience that will expand on your current theme. Question 45. Which of the following situations could become a teachable moment? A. A child has a cavity and is worried about going to the dentist. B. A child is moving to a new home. C. A child has a new baby sister at home. D. All the above.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. All the above. Everything that happens in a child's life, everything they share with you, and everything you observe can be a teaching moment. If a child is concerned about a new sibling, taking the time to respond to that concern helps that child to learn and feel secure. You can expand the teachable moments, when appropriate, by reading books or having activities that also touch on these subjects. Question 46. CDA credentials must be renewed. A. Annually. B. Every 5 years. C. Before the 3rd-year anniversary date. D. Only after 480 service hours have been completed.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Before the 3rd-year anniversary date, the CDA credential must be renewed before the 3rd-year anniversary date for every renewal. For example, if you received your credential on April 4, 2015, it must be renewed before April 4, 2018. 1 day later and your application is invalid. There is no grace period. Question 47. Mrs. Cook has several children in her home care practice that have trouble going from one activity to the next. For example, several don't want to put away toys at snack time or finish eating to come to the story circle. Mrs. Cook spends a lot of time cajoling these students to go from one activity from another while the others are waiting. What advice would you give Mrs. Cook in this situation? A. Physically remove the students who are balking during the transitions. B. Prepare the children for the transitions by giving them signals that a new activity is coming up. C. Let the children stay with the activity until they are finished. D. Help them clean up or remove the snack so that transitions will be faster.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Prepare the children for the transitions by giving them signals that a new activity is coming up. Many children have trouble transitioning from one activity to another. Mrs. Cook can help these children by warning them that activities are going to change. This will give them time to finish what they are doing, clean up, and adjust their feelings about having to finish and move on. She might have a musical signal or a verbal one which cues children to the change. This will take some practice, but eventually the children will adjust and transition more smoothly. Having consistent rules and procedures is the best way to keep programs running smoothly. Question 48. When reading a new book to your class, how can you help your students practice their prediction skills? A. Ask them how many pages they think are in the book. B. Ask them what they think will happen next. C. Go over with them what an illustrator does. D. Have them draw a picture of their favorite part of the book.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Ask them what they think will happen next. Children love to guess what will happen on the next page or by the end of the book. Help them to develop their prediction skills by using clues from the early pages to guess what will happen on the later pages. This will be easier for some students than others, and you will be able to assess the skill easily by their answers. Question 49. Mina is a little boy in your class. He has been potty trained for 6 months but recently has been wetting his pants several times a day, despite regular trips to the restroom. He has been using other children's backup clothing as his mother has not sent in replacements. What should you do? A. Let him stay in wet clothes, he won't like that and will start using the toilet again. B. Speak to Mina's mother about his recent behavior. Work with her to identify what could be causing Mina to regress in his toileting skills. C. Make Mina stay in for recess on the days he has an accident. Once he realizes this is the consequence, he will stop wetting his pants. D. Make Mina sit on the potty every 15 minutes. He won't have a chance to have an accident if he sits that often.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Speak to Mina's mother about his recent behavior. Work with her to identify what could be causing Mina to regress in his toileting skills. When a child has regular accidents after successfully using the facilities on a regular basis, there can be factors you are not aware of causing this child to regress. Speaking to the child's parents can give you insight as to whether there is something going on at home, maybe a new baby or a recent move. It also allows the parents to work with you to resolve the issue, for while they may not be happy he is having accidents, they will respect and trust you for sharing your concerns and being willing to do what it takes to support their child. Question 50. Child care professionals should be advocates for the needs of children and their families. Caregivers who work with English language learners, ELL, or bilingual children should A. Seek to clarify issues related to language learning and bilingualism within the program. B. Advocate for a single language program for all children. C. Separate language and cultural identity from the program. D. Teach children solely in their primary language.
3, 2, 1.
Correct answer. Seek to clarify issues related to language learning and bilingualism within the program. Caregivers working with ELL and bilingual children should seek to clarify issues related to bilingualism and multiculturalism. Children should not be separated from either their primary language or their cultural heritage. The caregiver should be knowledgeable about bilingual language development and cultural heritage so they can more accurately serve the needs of their charges.